A man in California earns $420,000 a year. Luxury SUV. Ocean view condo. Private school for the kids. From the outside, he looks rich. But last month, his water heater broke. And he had to put the repair on a credit card. Because there wasn't enough cash in the bank. How does someone making nearly $500,000 a year end up living like that? It sounds impossible. But according to recent financial research, it's happening far more often than people realize. Welcome to something economists quietly call the high-income poverty trap. Part 1, the lie most people believe. Most people grow up believing one simple equation. More income equals fewer money problems. Earn $50,000 and life feels tight. Earn $100,000 and things improve. Earn $250,000 and you must be doing great. Right? But the data tells a completely different story. In fact, several financial studies show something shocking. People earning six-figure salaries often report more financial stress than people earning far less. And the reason isn't math. It's behavior. Part 2, the high-income illusion. Let's meet someone. Call her Rachel. Rachel works in corporate law. She earns about $360,000 a year. Her life looks impressive. Luxury apartment downtown. 2 leased cars. Frequent weekend trips. Nice restaurants several nights a week. To anyone looking from the outside, Rachel appears extremely wealthy. But behind the scenes, her financial life looks very different. Her monthly expenses include mortgage and housing costs, private school tuition, car leases, student loan payments, travel expenses, subscriptions and lifestyle costs. By the time everything clears, almost every dollar of income is already spoken for. Rachel isn't building wealth. She's maintaining a very expensive lifestyle. Part 3, the statistic that stuns most people. Here's something that surprises many people. A large financial study in 2025 found that about 4 out of 10 people earning between $300,000 and $500,000 live paycheck to paycheck. Even more surprising, roughly 40% of people earning more than $500,000 report the same thing. Think about that for a moment. People earning more in a month than many households earn in a year still feel financially stretched. This isn't a rare situation. It's a pattern. Part 4, lifestyle inflation. The main reason for this pattern has a name. Lifestyle inflation. It works like this. When income rises, spending rises with it. Slowly. Quietly. Almost invisibly. Your $12 lunch becomes a $25 lunch. Your used car becomes a leased luxury car. Your apartment becomes a bigger house. Each change feels small. Reasonable. Even deserved. After all, you worked hard for it. But these upgrades stack on top of each other. And suddenly your entire lifestyle requires a very high income just to sustain it. Part 5, when luxuries become normal. The real trap appears when luxuries stop feeling like luxuries. Once something becomes normal, going backward feels painful. Imagine someone who has a large house, 2 luxury cars, private school tuition, frequent travel, expensive hobbies. Even if they realize they're overspending, cutting those things feels impossible. Because psychologically, it feels like losing status. Not correcting behavior. Part 6, the millionaire paradox. Here's where things get interesting. Studies of actual millionaires reveal something unexpected. Most wealthy people don't look wealthy at all. Research shows that many millionaires live in average neighborhoods, drive older cars, Avoid flashy purchases. Continue budgeting carefully. In fact, a large percentage of them still shop sales and track spending. Why? Because their goal isn't to look rich. Their goal is to build wealth. And those two goals require very different behaviors. Part 7, Two very different financial paths. Imagine two people. Both earn $250,000 per year. Person A spends almost everything they earn. They upgrade their home. Lease luxury cars. Take expensive vacations. Person B does something different. They live comfortably. But below their means. They invest consistently. They save aggressively. After 20 years. Person A still depends on their job to fund their lifestyle. Person B may have several $1,000,000 invested. Same income. Completely different outcomes. Part 8, The psychology behind the trap. This trap isn't about intelligence. Many high earners understand finance perfectly well. The real driver is psychology. Humans naturally compare themselves to others. When your income increases, your social circle often changes too. Suddenly your peers include doctors, executives, entrepreneurs, people who spend heavily. And their lifestyle becomes the new benchmark. What once seemed extravagant now feels normal. Part 9, Social media made it worse. Years ago, people compared themselves to neighbors. Now they compare themselves to everyone online. Social media feeds constantly display luxury travel, expensive homes, new cars, designer products. But these feeds only show highlights. They never show debt, stress, financial pressure, or the credit card bills behind the lifestyle. Part 10, The credit card factor. Credit also plays a huge role. In recent years, credit card debt in the United States reached record levels. Even high-income households carry large balances. But the reason differs by income level. Lower-income households often borrow to survive. Higher-income households borrow to maintain a lifestyle. Both end up with debt. But the motivation is different. Part 11, The fixed cost problem. Another danger is something called fixed lifestyle costs. These are expenses that become difficult to reverse. Examples include mortgage payments, school tuition, car leases, country club memberships, vacation property costs. Once these commitments exist, reducing them feels nearly impossible. Even if income drops. Part 12, When income stops growing. Many people assume their income will always rise. But careers don't always follow a straight path. Industries change. Companies restructure. Health issues appear. If your lifestyle requires an extremely high income, any disruption becomes dangerous. Part 13, The real wealth builders. Research consistently shows something fascinating. Many millionaires built wealth slowly. Not through huge incomes, but through consistent habits over decades. They saved early, invested regularly, avoided lifestyle inflation, and allowed compound growth to do the rest. Their success was gradual, not flashy. Part 14, The power of saving rate. Income matters. But saving rate matters more. Someone earning $200,000 and saving 30% builds wealth rapidly. Someone earning $400,000 and saving 5% often struggles financially. Over time, the difference becomes enormous. Because investing compounds. And compounding rewards time and discipline. Part 15. The psychology of overspending. I want you to meet a part of your brain called the limbic system. The limbic system is old. Ancient. It's the part of your brain that evolved to keep you alive on the savannah 100,000 years ago. It is driven by two things, seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. It does not understand the concept of a retirement account. It does not care about your future self. It wants rewards, and it wants them now. When you see a luxury car, a designer bag, a beautiful restaurant, your limbic system lights up like a Christmas tree. And your prefrontal cortex, the rational, planning part of your brain, has to fight back. Every time. Like an overworked employee who keeps getting overruled by their impulsive boss. Let me walk you through the specific psychological traps that keep high earners broke. Not because they're stupid, but because these traps are engineered to catch smart people. Trap number 1, social comparison theory. Psychologist Leon Festinger discovered in 1954 that humans have a fundamental drive to evaluate themselves by comparing to others, specifically to people just above them. When Marcus earned $52,000, he compared himself to his college friends making $60,000. When he hit $100,000, he compared himself to colleagues making $150,000. When he hit $180,000, he compared himself to partners and executives making $300,000. He never won. The goalpost always moved. So he spent to feel like he was keeping up, even when the math said he was falling behind. Trap number 2, the identity expenditure. This one is subtle and devastating. For many high earners, expensive things aren't just products. They're identity markers. They signal to the world, and to themselves, I have made it. The BMW isn't just a car. It's proof that Marcus isn't that broke kid from a small town anymore. The designer suit isn't just clothes. It says, I belong in this room. The vacation photos on Instagram aren't just memories. They're a performance of success. When spending becomes tied to your identity and self-worth, cutting it feels like a personal attack. Like you're admitting you're not who you've been pretending to be. This is why giving up luxury spending feels harder for high earners than it does for people who never had it. Because for them, it's not just money. It's their story. Trap number 3, hedonic adaptation. Here's one of the cruelest tricks the human brain plays on us. Whatever you currently have, no matter how amazing it was when you first got it, eventually becomes your new normal. And then it's not enough anymore. The first time Marcus drove his BMW off the lot, he felt pure euphoria. 6 months later, it was just his car. A year later, he started noticing the newer model. This is hedonic adaptation. The brain resets. The pleasure fades. And you need more just to feel the same level of satisfaction. It's the same reason a $15 meal felt incredible in college, but now a $100 dinner barely registers as special. Trap number 4, present bias. Study after study confirms that humans dramatically overvalue the present compared to the future. If I offer you $100 today versus $150 in 1 year, most people take the $100 today, even though waiting 12 months for a 50% return is an insane financial decision. This is present bias. And it is why people choose the nice dinner now over the investment account for their future. Why they lease the luxury car now instead of building a down payment. Why they swipe the credit card now and deal with the balance later. Your brain treats future you like a stranger. And we don't sacrifice for strangers. Part 16. The Escape Plan. How to break free, starting this week. Everything I've shared up to this point has been diagnosis. Now comes the prescription. I want to be clear, this is not about deprivation. This is not about giving up your life and living on rice and beans. The goal is not to be cheap. The goal is to be intentional. There is a massive difference. Here is your escape plan. 7 steps. In order of importance. Step 1, face the numbers. Before you change anything, you need a clear financial snapshot. Sit down this weekend and calculate your actual net worth. Assets, bank accounts, investments, retirement accounts, equity in property, anything of real value. Liabilities, mortgage balance, car loans, student loans, credit card balances, any debt. Subtract liabilities from assets. That number is your starting point. Write it down. Date it. No judgment. Just honesty. You cannot navigate without knowing where you are. Step 2. Define your enough lifestyle. Here is a powerful question almost nobody asks: how much is enough? What does a genuinely fulfilling life cost for you, specifically? Not what impresses your colleagues. Not what your social media feed suggests. What do you actually need to feel happy, secure, and alive? Write it down. Design it deliberately. Give it a monthly dollar amount. Once you know your enough number, you have a target. And everything above that number, every dollar of income above that lifestyle cost, can be redirected toward building real wealth. Step 3. Automate the gap. Here's the most powerful financial move you can make: pay yourself first, automatically. Before you have a chance to spend it, set up an automatic transfer the day after your paycheck hits. Straight to a brokerage account. Straight to your 401k. Straight to your mortgage principal. The behavioral science is clear: we spend what's available. Remove it from availability, and you won't miss it. Start with 20% of take-home pay. Work toward 30 to 40% if your income allows. Automation removes the need for willpower. It makes wealth building the default. Step 4. The 24-hour rule on non-essential purchases. For any non-essential purchase over $100, implement a mandatory 24-hour waiting period. This simple rule interrupts the impulse purchase cycle. The limbic system wants it now. The 24-hour rule forces the prefrontal cortex into the conversation. Most of the time. After 24 hours, the desire fades. The item no longer feels urgent or necessary. This one rule can save high earners thousands of dollars per year with almost zero lifestyle sacrifice. Step 5. Audit your recurring expenses ruthlessly. Every 90 days, spend 30 minutes reviewing every subscription, membership, and recurring charge. Ask one question for each: is this bringing me genuine value proportional to its cost? Most high earners are paying for 4 to 8 subscriptions they barely use. Gym memberships they visit twice a month. Streaming services they've forgotten about. Software they signed up for 2 years ago. Cancel without guilt. These are not cuts. These are recoveries of money that was silently leaving your account for zero return. Step 6. Build the wealth stack. Once you've freed up cash flow, you need to deploy it intelligently. Here's the priority order. First, employer 401k match. If your company matches contributions, capture every penny of it. This is a guaranteed 50% to 100% return on that money. Nothing else competes. Second, pay off high-interest debt. Credit cards at 18 to 24% are financial emergencies. Pay them off aggressively. The guaranteed return of eliminating that interest is unbeatable. Third, emergency fund. Get to 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. This isn't an investment. It's insurance. It's what keeps one bad month from derailing everything. Fourth, max out tax-advantaged accounts. 401k, Roth IRA, HSA if available. These accounts protect your wealth from the single largest expense in your life, taxes. Fifth, invest in index funds. Once the above boxes are checked, invest consistently in diversified, low-cost index funds. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need to be a genius. You need time and consistency. Sixth, real assets that cash flow. As your portfolio grows, consider income-producing assets, rental properties, dividend stocks, a side business, that generate cash flow whether or not you work. This is how you escape the hamster wheel. Step 7. Upgrade your identity, carefully. Remember we said this is an identity problem as much as a money problem? The final step is a mindset shift. Start seeing yourself as someone who builds wealth, not someone who displays wealth. The wealthy people in this world, the ones with real financial security, often don't look like Marcus. They don't drive the flashiest car or live in the biggest house or wear the designer labels. They look like Taylor. Quietly compounding. Playing a long game. Not performing success, building it. When you start making financial decisions based on the question, does this build my future or display my present? Everything changes. Marcus, by the way. He's real. Well, composite of real people I've read about and spoken with. And the ones who got out didn't do it by earning more. They did it by deciding, deliberately, firmly, to stop performing wealth and start building it. You can do the same. Starting this week. Part 17, The 20-Year Difference. Imagine two people earning $300,000 per year. One saves 30%. The other saves 5%. After 2 decades of investing, the disciplined saver may accumulate several $1,000,000. The spender may have only a fraction of that. Same income. Radically different future. Part 18, The Hard Question. Escaping the high-income poverty trap requires asking one uncomfortable question. What is all this spending actually for? Is it improving your life? Or simply maintaining appearances? Many people never ask this question. They simply continue upgrading their lifestyle. Year after year. Part 19, The Path Out. Breaking the cycle doesn't require extreme sacrifice. It requires intention. Spend money on things that genuinely matter. Cut the things that don't. And most importantly, pay yourself first. Automate saving. Automate investing. Let wealth build quietly in the background. Part 20, The Real Definition of Wealth. True wealth isn't measured by income. Or cars. Or houses. Real wealth is measured by freedom. Freedom to change careers. Freedom to take time off. Freedom to choose how you spend your time. And that freedom comes from assets. Not lifestyle. Conclusion. The high-income poverty trap is one of the strangest financial patterns in modern society. People earn more money than ever before. Yet many still feel financially trapped. Because income alone doesn't create wealth. Only intentional decisions do. And the difference between spending and investing can change the entire trajectory of a life. If this topic made you think differently about money, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into wealth, investing, and financial psychology. And tell me in the comments. Do you think high income automatically leads to wealth? Or is financial freedom really about something else?